Hey guys, SoundJuggle45 here, and this is the big one. This is a big one. I don't make videos like this, but this is a big one, and I think I'm within my power, my responsibility is for to get this word out there pretty much to you as soon as possible as I can, because we have a big, massive problem on our hand for a Kickstarter. Not just on Kickstarter, but to one of my good friends on Twitter. He's friends with this person, and I follow this person as well. Her name is RenieDraws or Irene S. I can't pronounce the last full legal name, but here's the thing: her comic book Fiendish is pretty much was just stolen. Copy was has basically has art theft. She's been art theft by someone on Kickstarter who's passing off her own work as pretty much brand new story called Fatal Grounds on Kickstarter. Like here's the synopsis. Like the synopsis will shock and pretty much surprise you. Here's the synopsis for Fiendish. As a young boy, Kis, Kizmir was the sole survivor of a mysterious demon attack on his hometown on Drover. Years after the Flea massacre, Kaz thought he had left his neighbor behind until the same fiends resurface and kill again. Ooh, it sounds badass and interesting. Thus, along with several companions who had also lost their loved ones to the monsters, he sets out to revisit his past, uncover the truth behind Drover's downfall, and hopefully put an end to Fiendish infestation. Now that sounds awesome. Let's go read it. What about Fatal Ground? Elbeers, Elbeers was the only one to survive mysterious demon attack. Homestown of Kanai was a child for years. He believed he put the trauma behind him. Monsters reappear, begin killing again. See what I'm saying? I'm not reading this one for word for word because they don't even change the plot synopsis. They are very much close. They're very much similar. Boy who survives a demon attack, sole survivor. Check. Put the trauma behind him. Check. The monsters reappear again. Check. I'm gonna team up with with a lot of with my companions to stop this from happening again. I have to uncover the past of my hometown and why it was attacked and the truth behind everything. Check, 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 check. Ding, 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 ding. We have an exact plot synopsis. But what really made this thing stand out? Because as I pointed to one of my friends who I do follow, or should I say he followed me first, and I followed him, or I forgot how it went first. But in general, short, my good friend on Twitter, who I have interacted with from time to time, but also have very much heavily promoted from time to time, his comic book. His name is Joe M. Stockstone. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's an independent comic book creator. He's creator of this campaign called Reaper Destroyer. Now, if you ever heard this on Indiegogo, he's basically if you love action, sci-fi, adventure that captures everything about the dark hues of the '90s, this is the comic book for you. It's awesome. It's incredible. I'm like, dude, I'm backing this up. I need more dark heroes again within my comic book. So, and just in general, give me dark heroes again. I love dark heroes when they are done correctly and not just forgotten about that. Oh, remember this dark hero we once had? That was cool, but now we've just lost our ways. Let's get rid of that. No, that's cool. That's awesome. So he kind of put it out on his Twitter that like, hey, Kickstarter, this Kickstarter on Kickstarter campaign on this Kickstarter campaign for this comic book called Fatal for again for Fatal is pretty much ripping off the Fiendish comic book for Fatal Ground is pretty much ripping off the Fiendish comic book by Irene or RenieDraws. And when I looked at the plot synopsis, I'm like, yeah, pretty much the same exact plot, very similar. But the character design, I looked at her design versus the fatal design, and I gotta say, oh my god. You can say the word that you want to say, but I'm gonna say it's like trace, or should we say the edits aren't even that much of a difference no more. Like they're exactly the same. For example, the swordsman character, how the Fiendish one draws it, pretty much looks like scared or shocked that's ready to fight this upcoming battle. But here's the thing. One thing I noticed that the hand for one of them, like the left hand, like the sword is drawn with the right hand, that's what's pointing downwards, like she's getting ready to grab it with the hilt and be ready. So the hand's on the hilt. What about the fatal design? It's not even on the hilt. Same drawing, same exact poses, but here's the thing: the fatal one is pretty much has that left hand closer to the neck, and the eyes are changed from being wide open shock look with pink colors to more like Clint Eastwood design, like like from the scene out of the good, bad, and the ugly, or like like they're squinting, like they're ready for war, or make it more slightly demon like. I'm like, okay, but that's one you notice it right away, and there's no way. What about some other characters? The archers, they're both having their bows drawn. They look exactly, pretty much exactly the same. There's no way you could tell me that this isn't just just Irene's drawings from Fiendish that look exactly the same. More things are similar to a lot of characters, like the axe wielding person. Looks the same. Same drawings, same poses, same backgrounds. A lot of them have the exact same pose, maybe slightly altered to the background, and even the clothes. The big one that I saw with the mage, at least they try to change the background to from Fiendish, which was a more fire-based mage with some awesome clothing that looked pretty awesome to wear, to a wind mage, same clothing with a different scheme on. I'm like, that's the exact same character. That's the exact same character. What's also funny for these edits is that Irene kind of made it look like that. Hey, like she can tell if it's hers because she has this kind of like this white box around the character. So like once it's done completed, that she has like this white box. I don't know. Maybe she could tell me more what that is like. But that's the thing. Once you start noticing the similarities and what's changed or not changed from the Fiendish to Fatal, it's completely same. It is the exact same characters within the exact same pose with nothing that was done to make them look different. If these were fan arts, I wouldn't mind it. But here's the thing: I would still mind it because you're still kind of taking someone else's work. But here's the thing: a good fan art will be a good fan art. Like fan art will definitely be changing a lot of things. It'll be like, here's my drawing, like and they'll say from said comic book, from said anime, like who drew it or who didn't draw it. That's something that you will notice like immediately. Like you will notice immediately, like this is the fan art, this is the actual official work. People will make that very much distinctive and very much clear. And this person didn't do neither of those things with Fatal. They just passed it off their own work, saying that I had this idea for, as I'm looking at the Kickstarter campaign, which is still currently up at that time. As I'm fumbling through my phone just a little bit because I got to get back. There it is. If it'll quickly load up, there it is. Quickly. Yeah, why did it do that? Hold on a second. Do it again. Load, 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 load. Come on, load, 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 load. According to them, they've claimed on the official to about the creator, saying that they have a lifelong inspiration for creating my own comic book. It's a production that combines my love for seinen manga such as Berserk with my appreciation for classic European comics like Moringas. But as they're saying, like for the past 2 years, I put my heart into this project. 2 years, 2 years. When did the Fiendish comic book come out again? Exactly. So things have been around for like. I mean, that doesn't mean that you can have like different. I mean, people could have different ideas, but for the way how Fiendish was described to you first in this video, and how Fatal was described to you, it's like no, it's called this. Fiendish came first. Fatal is the ripoff that's pretty much just ripped off everything that I just said and will continue to be saying. Fiendish just is the original, while Fatal is the ripoff. Fatal just ripped off everything from Fiendish. Half the work was done for Fatal, so it's like, half the work's done for me. I don't put that much effort to it. But now you're gonna have to put effort into it. Now you're gonna have to put effort into your comic book because people like the creator of Reaper the Destroyer and other people from the indie side of comic books on Twitter right now are calling you out. So are you gonna have yourself a defense for every single thing that the big time creators have to say about this? No, you're not going to, because you're just gonna go into hiding. Probably delete the profile, probably delete everything once Kickstarter gets in gear and be like, all right, we're coming in right now. We're gonna cancel this project because it's not gonna make the money either way. But also at the same time, it it's like the cardinal sin. At the end of all, the conclusion of this big up full rant is that I feel bad for for Irene, for RenieDraws, for her, because she looks like a talented, awesome person that I would love to meet one day. But also when she has to find out on Twitter through her fans that are like saying that, hey, I think your comic just got stolen and being passed off as a brand new work. Drawings are matching up exactly the way that she's drawn to. The character designs look the same, just slightly altered. You don't do that to someone. And the plot synopsis, that is so close. That is like a red flag to be like, hey, something's off here. They're both almost the same thing. They're almost the exact same story being told to you and presented to you. Even how Renee, she said that, or Irene, how she said that, yeah, it's my drawings. Just change, they just change the colorings, or use different colors to get the same look, just drawn the same. Or just say just colors slightly different just to pass it off as an original work. Congratulations, the cheap way of making art. And that's a shame, man. That's a shame. But you know what's also the funny thing right now? Now Irene's getting more notice for her original work because once you see the original work versus the ripoff, you're pretty much right now going to support the original work. And that's what I always say. Hey, I'll start promoting Fiendish more often and maybe I will buy a comic book now. Maybe I will. I think I was going to, just saving up time and money just a bit longer because reasons and just want to make sure that I have enough. But you know what? I have enough now. I think I will go buy myself a buy a comic from her from Irene. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. I can't believe that this happened again. But of course, according to Joe, he said that this won't be the first time that's happened. There's been a history with Kickstarter campaigns that are just blatant ripoffs. So I'm like, that is something to take notice to go into the future. But it's also one of those important things that you say, hey, be on the lookout for this stuff. It's like all over the place for Kickstarter campaigns, who are starting their own projects that are you going to say this is a ripoff or not a ripoff? You just never know. But for this one, we did know, and thankfully, action will be taken. Irene will have her justice. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time.